Hello friends, welcome to the Movieology channel. Recently, Disney Plus Hotstar released a South Korean mystery horror series called LightShop, written by Kang Ful and directed by Kim Hee-won. This series is super interesting, with a total of 8 episodes. In this video, I'll explain the first episode, and I'll keep uploading videos like this regularly. Let's dive straight into the video. At the beginning of the story, a woman is standing outside a light shop, gazing inside, but never stepping in. The shop is surrounded by complete darkness, and after a moment, she disappears into the shadowy alley. Later, we're introduced to Hyun Min, a man heading home from work on a bus. When he gets off, he spots the same woman, Ji Young, sitting on a bench at the bus stop. She seems creepy, disturbed, and a little too strange to approach. Hyun Min decides not to engage and heads straight home. The following evening, Hyun Min notices Ji Young sitting on the same bench again, this time with a suitcase by her side. Once again, he chooses to ignore her. However, she starts tapping her fingers on the bench, creating a sound so loud it feels physically impossible. Despite how weird it is, Hyun Min keeps walking. On the third day, Hyun Min finds her sitting there again. This time, curiosity gets the better of him, and he asks why she keeps sitting in the same spot. He also informs her that the last bus has already left, and no taxis run in the area. Offering his phone to help her call someone, he notices the screen is cracked, something he hadn't realized before. He's shocked at how it could have happened without his knowledge. Ji Young, relatively unbothered by his questions, asks him a strange one instead. "Do you know me?" Hyun Min is left baffled, unsure of how to respond, and decides to leave. The next evening, as Hyun Min heads home again, it's pouring rain. He sees Ji Young sitting in the same spot, soaked, waiting for someone. Without hesitation, Hyun Min walks over, covers her with his umbrella, and says, "My house is nearby. You can come with me to stay dry." Ji Young accepts the umbrella, and Hyun Min quickly heads home. But before he leaves, she asks the same peculiar question. "Do you know me?" This time, Hyun Min answered yes, reminding her they had spoken the previous day. The entire situation feels bizarre to him. Then, Ji Young asks another odd question. "Will you meet me here again tomorrow?" Though Hyun Min is unsure of how to respond, he reluctantly agrees. As he hands over the umbrella, Ji Young unexpectedly asks if she can go with him to his house, mentioning she won't be able to meet him there the next day. Feeling awkward but unable to refuse, Hyun Min agrees, and the two head to his apartment on the 8th floor. Inside, Hyun Min tries to turn on the lights, but Ji Young stops him abruptly, which makes the moment even stranger. As she steps inside, the door closes automatically, as if Hyun Min had just invited a spirit into his home. The scene shifts to Eugene University Hospital. Through a first-person view, we observe the bustling environment. The nurses, especially Hyo, are busy with their tasks. Hyo's colleagues encourage her to take a break and join them for dinner, given how hard she works. At first, Hyo declines, but she agrees when Yongji, another nurse, offers to take over her responsibilities for the time being. While working alone in the ICU, Yongji encounters a strange man. Since only staff or authorized family are allowed inside, she asks him to leave. The man responds with a cryptic question. "Where's the morgue?" Before Yongji can press him for answers, a patient's condition suddenly worsens. Distracted, Yongji rushes to stabilize the patient with the help of her colleagues. When she looks back, the man has disappeared. Next, the focus shifts to Byung-jin, who is shivering in a cold house, struggling to sleep. A dog's constant barking outside keeps him awake. Irritated, he storms to the gate and yells out in frustration. Meanwhile, we see Won-young, the owner of the mysterious light shop introduced earlier in the story. Oddly, he's wearing sunglasses indoors, while staring intently at a light bulb. A customer walks in, requesting a light bulb. Interestingly, Won Young's shop operates all night, and he always asks customers why they came in. After the customer leaves, Won Young pulls out a diary filled with names. Suddenly, the same mysterious man from the hospital ICU appears in the shop. Won Young calmly asks him why he's there, but the man doesn't respond, quietly observing the lights before leaving the shop. Later, a woman, seemingly a regular customer, arrives. She remarks that during the day, the shop is invisible to most people, but at night, it stands out distinctly. She buys a fluorescent tube and leaves. At Gwang Girls High School, a creepy girl is spotted standing alone on the playground while a lecture continues in one of the classrooms. Inside the classroom, Hyunju notices the girl outside and waves, but the girl doesn't respond. Just then, the teacher starts taking attendance. Interestingly, she calls out the names of Hyunju's 3 friends, but skips Hyunju's name, which feels off. Outside, thunder rumbles, scaring the students. During this, Hyunju's friend, Bo Bae, shares a spooky story about the girl in the playground. She claims the girl lives in the school, often sitting in empty seats, but not everyone can see her. This makes her sound like a ghostly presence. Hyunju listens intently, not joining the conversation. After school, Hyunju, Bo Bae, and 2 other friends are on their way home. Hyunju hesitates as she needs to go through the alley to fetch something for her mother. Her friends leave, oblivious to her worry, and Hyunju ventures into the alley alone, fearfully. Meanwhile, at the light shop, Byung-jin arrives, cold and annoyed by the barking dog. He touches a bulb that seems to have frost forming on it. Oddly, Won Young glasses also begin to frost over. Won Young quickly stops him, saying he isn't good at dealing with customers. Frustrated, Byung-jin leaves. Afterward, Won Young stares thoughtfully at a bulb. The shop has an odd collection. Some bulbs are thick, some thin, some dim, and others flicker eerily. Later, Hye-won, a drenched woman with wet hair, enters the shop. She tries to touch a bulb, but Won Young touches his glasses and asks her to leave. She leaves without protest. Meanwhile, Hyunju, feeling pursued in the dark alley, rushes into the light shop. Won Young recognizes her and greets her warmly. She's there to buy a bulb. Won Young offers her a butter-flavored candy in a yellow wrapper, already unwrapped. Hyunju, slightly irritated, asks why he always unwraps the candy for her, saying she isn't a child. Won Young explains that she reminds him of his daughter, who he dearly misses. He wears a small child's locket, a keepsake of his daughter, which is why he feels a connection to Hyunju. She then reveals the locket she wears was a gift from her father before he left for another city for work, and he never returned. Hyunju handed Won Young a butterfly she made from a candy wrapper. He accepted it and carefully placed it aside. When Hyunju curiously asked about his age, Won Young chuckled and vaguely replied that he was old enough to have had a child. However, the reflection in the mirror on the table told a different story. It showed him as an old man. This made him even more mysterious, adding to his already strange behavior. Hyunju shared her unnerving experience in the alley with Won Young, describing how she felt someone was following her and even caught a glimpse of a figure at the corner. Won Young listened intently and then, with a serious tone, explained that she had a rare ability to see strangers, beings that look human but are distinguishable if observed closely. He warned her never to acknowledge them and to act like she didn't see them, leaving the situation as quickly as possible. He explained that strangers are extremely dangerous. He gave her a rechargeable light she could use during her walks. Hyunju, grateful for the gesture, happily left. Curiously, Hyunju is seen holding a bulb, even though there is no scene in which Won Young gives it to her. The scene shifted to Humin's 8th floor apartment, where Humin and Ji Young were present. Humin was horrified when he noticed Ji Young's fingers and her nails curved unnaturally forward, making her look terrifying. This confirmed what Won-young had said earlier. Ji-young was one of the dangerous strangers. Ji-young opened her suitcase, revealing a collection of ominous tools, and began moving toward Hyo-min, the Hyun-ju, who lived on the same floor. As she walked to her room, she noticed Ji-young dragging the suitcase. Trying to be polite, Hyun-ju greeted her with a good evening, which made Ji-young realize Hyun-ju could see her. Ji-young's face lit up with a chilling smile. Blood dripping from the suitcase confirmed the worst. Ji-young had likely killed Hyun-min. Episode 1 ended on this ominous note. If you